teacher for today. My name is Tan King Si and you may call me Mr. Tan. Today I'll be teaching you about prep cycle, which is also known as citric acid cycle. As you can see, acetyl-CoA enters the cycle, which is taken up by oxaloacetate to form citrate. Citrate is then decarboxylated and dehydrogenated to form alpha-ketoglutarate. Alpha-ketoglutarate is decarboxylated and dehydrogenated to form succinate. Succinate is oxidized to form fumarate. Fumarate is converted to malate, and malate is then oxidized to form oxaloacetate, and the cycle repeats again. And now, do you all understand what I just taught you? No? Okay, I'm quite sure all of you are confused right now. It feels as if I haven't taught you all anything. Well, maybe I didn't. And this corresponds to what some researchers have discovered. Actually, this is a quote from them, and simply it means that when learning, a learner makes sense of the world around him by creating his or her own knowledge and the world based on prior understanding and experience. And this is where our topic comes in, describing intuition among those good within a discipline and those not, using a case study of Bishan Park. I am Tan King Si, and this is my partner Joel Ng. Our project, simply put, we find some teachers and students, put them together and put them through the same test. Number 1, Bishan Park. We went to Bishan Park and took many photos, which is 8-directional along the river. So it is, and number 2, mapping. We created a geographical information system, which is GIS in short, then to form a map using PowerPoint. And this is an example of it. As you can see, we turn right and turn left, turn one round, and move forward. And next, number 3, the interview. So we have 6 teachers, 2 geography teachers, 2 non-geography humanities teachers, and 2 science teachers. Then we also have 4 students, 2 geography students and 2 non-geography students. And this is the list of interview questions we have for them. And all these questions are basically asking them to predict what will happen to the river in the future, and the reason why. After that, we collected their responses in tables. As you can see, it's full of words, and which probably most of you will be doing it too. And lastly, comparing of their responses, which we compared their data in tables, and tables, and tables, and tables, and tables, and tables. It's just a lot of tables. And now I will define to you our key definitions that we'll be using later. Firstly, intuition, which is simply put, the thinking of a person based on his inborn ability to think and experience, which simply put is, for example, when I say like, what do you think it might rain later? The obvious answer is yes, but do you know why? Because and sometimes you just reply, it's just a feeling, and that is intuition. And next, disciplinarians. For the purpose of our study, we use geography, people who are experts in geography. So they are schooled within a discipline and a specific school of study. So they are called disciplinarians, and in this case it's geography, as we are using the riverscape. And those who are not schooled within a discipline and or a specific school of study are called non-disciplinarians. So this is basically the mechanism of our project, which is the overview. And the black parts are the parts which I just covered. Those who are schooled within a discipline, no, then they will be non-disciplinarians. And yes, those who are, and they are disciplinarians. We put them through the same GIS, which we have created for them. Then after that, they will predict the changes that will happen on the river. After which, their responses will be either based on observation and experiences or canonical facts. And now I'll pass the time over to Joel, who will be telling you about the data we have analyzed.
Thank you, Kingsley. Okay, hi everyone. Okay, so just to make it a bit more live, right? As mentioned previously, we actually interviewed 5 groups of people, which are these groups of people. So who do you all think is best represented for a science teacher? Anyone? Famous scientist? Okay, Albert Einstein. And non-geography humanities teacher, we chose Nelson Mandela. Anyone know him? You should know, right? Okay. For geography teacher, we chose Mother Teresa because Mother Teresa actually taught geography in India in 19 something. And geography student is someone that you all know. He's someone very famous in Singapore. Anyone? Yeah, he needs no introduction, right? Just FYI, he actually scored, he stopped in SRJC for geography, I think. I saw your Wikipedia, right? And lastly, non-geography student. So, Hermione Richter is a non-geography student because she studies magic, yeah. Okay, so for our data analysis, right, we actually have 3 parts. For data analysis 1, we look at the intuition between disciplinarians and non-disciplinarians. I'll explain more later. Data analysis 2, we will compare between job students and job teachers. And lastly, we will compare the intuition between teachers and students. So for data analysis 1, we look at the response that these people actually gave, the students actually gave. So as you can see over here, all of them mentioned about the river getting more polluted. So these are the responses, these are the potential, these are their predictions on Bishan Park riverscape. So when we look at the reasons they provided for this prediction, we actually realize a trend between them now. So on the left side, the job teachers and job students, they actually mentioned environmental related reasons, meaning that they believe that the Bishan Park riverscape gets more polluted because of environmental reasons. And on the right side is because of anthropogenic reasons, which are the human causing reasons. Like for example, people throwing rubbish into the river. And so for data analysis 1, we can actually conclude that job students and job teachers, who we consider them as disciplinarians because they are schooled within geography, they were discovered to use more of their geographical knowledge. Like for example, I mentioned previously, they talk about environment as a reason, right? And all geography students actually study environment in geography. And next, the non-job student, non-job teachers and science teachers, we should consider them as non-disciplinarians since they don't study geography. We find that they have a tendency of using their knowledge and their observation to give answer predictions. So next, for data analysis. So far, we actually consider geography teachers and geography students as disciplinarian. But I'm sure all of you actually know that teachers and students are different. Teachers have at least a degree in their geography, and geography students maybe only have O-level like that. So there's a big difference between them. So therefore, we decided to do an additional analysis to look at the difference, how similar is geography students from geography teachers. So as you can see over here, there are geography teacher, geography student, and non-geography student. When we look at a common prediction that all of them gave, which is actually development. So these are all development. When they say they all have more man-made shelter, and new facilities, they're all actually about development. So when we look at the reasons that they gave for thinking that there's more development in Bishan Park, right, we actually realize that there are some similarities between them. Like job teachers and job students both mention about governmental choice as boxed by the red box. So this essentially means that they feel that the government will want to do this. No, this development are actually done because the government wants it. And next, all 3 groups actually mention about people's choice, whereby it's the people's wants for all this development. And lastly, job students actually mention about topographical reasons, which are reasons based on the location. Therefore, as you can see over here, right, the job teachers and job students actually share some similarities in the sense that both of them mention about people's desire and governmental choice. So we can conclude that geography students are actually to a certain extent valid to be considered as disciplinary since they share some similar thinking abilities as the geography teachers. So for data analysis 3, once again we look at the reasons they provided that's about development. So basically all of them mention about having more development in Bishan Park. But then when we look at the reasons, right, there's actually 2 main groups of reasons they provided. The left side, communal needs, and on the right side, governmental choice. So as you can see, right, on the left side, majority of the response is actually given by geography student and non-geography student, which is the purple part and the green part, and purple part and the orange part. Whereas the science teacher and non-geography teacher and geography teacher, they have a tendency of giving more of governmental choice, which is the things that they read up on, which is on the right side. So based on this, we can actually conclude that non-geography students and geography students were actually all students. They gave answer based on intuition, the things that they observe at a personal level. Whereas on the other hand, teachers have a tendency of using more of the knowledge that they study. Like for example, just now I mentioned about teachers giving more on governmental choice, right? So government, things about government will be, this information they can only learn through reading online, reading newspapers, this kind of stuff. So lastly, for our conclusion, our first data analysis tells us that disciplinarian has a higher tendency of using their knowledge, whereas non-disciplinarian tend to use their intuition. So next, for geography students, they actually discovered it is quite similar to geography teachers in the sense that they both think in a certain way that's affected by their knowledge, which is what they study in geography. And lastly, in these studies, teachers were actually discovered to apply more of their canonical facts, which are the facts that people learn, which are the facts that are agreed by the experts in the community or the field. So whereas students tend to apply more of what they observe and what they see. Okay, so the key takeaway here in our project is that, like all your students, right, you all might be having some peer tutoring to teach your own peers about, like for example, your friend asks you next question, then you have to teach them. So when you all are trying to teach people, right, the idea is that you all should take note of what these people already know, their intuition, whatever they have learned beforehand, so that you can better teach them what you need to teach them. Yeah, thank you.